Hello, our beloved viewers. Welcome to the 9 p.m. English News Edition brought to you live from the national television. Let's begin with the top stories. And in Brussels today, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abdul Qadir Hussein Omar, participated in the third joint ministerial meeting between AU and EU. And on the international scene, 79 Palestinians killed in Israeli airstrike. Those were the top stories, and welcome back in our newsroom. This morning at Red Sea Wall, Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, president of Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority, had the honor of welcoming the president of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Mohamed Abdullahi, on an official visit accompanied by his delegation. This meeting marks a significant step in strengthening logistical ties between Djibouti and Somaliland, with a particular focus on enhancing cooperation in the port sector. The discussion, conducted in a warm and cordial atmosphere, also present Hassan Ahmed Ibrahim, Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, and the Minister of Communication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahadon. Following the meetings, the Somaliland delegation led by President Abdullahi visited the Dorale container terminal. And let's head now in Brussels, where the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abdul Qadir Hussein Omar, participated in the third joint ministerial meeting between African Union and the European Union, held in Brussels, leading a delegation consisting of Mohamed Ali Hassan, Secretary General of the Ministry, Aden Mohamed Dileita, Ambassador and Head of Mission to European Union, Abdi Mohamed Heibi, Ambassador and Permanent Representative to African Union, and Gile Idris Omar, Director of Multilateral Relations. And during this high-level meeting, several thematic round-table discussions were organized, including ones dedicated to multilateralism, where the minister actively participated. He emphasized that for Djibouti, multilateralism is a key tool for voicing the concern of developing countries, promoting a more equitable international order, and strengthening cooperation in addressing global challenges. And on the sidelines of the ministerial meeting, the minister held several bilateral talks with both African and European counterparts as well. He notably met with the AU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the European Commission, Mrs. Kaija Kallas, to discuss AU-Djibouti relations. Djibouti's permanent representative to the United Nations, Mr. Mohamed Siadou Ali, addressed to the UN Security Council during a high-level meeting on enhancing maritime security through international cooperation for a global stability. Let's listen to Ambassador Douali.
At the outset, I wish to reiterate Djibouti's gratitude to Greece, President of the Security Council, for the month of May, for convening this meeting on maritime security at a time when threats are multiplying and are growing more complex and are increasingly interconnected. Coincidentally, and as noted in one Unity report, the current configuration of the Security Council includes a group of countries that bring accumulated experience and expertise on the subject matter. We further thank the Greek presidency for the detailed and well-crafted concept note, as well as the guiding questions. They go a long way in clarifying the stakes and fostering an in-depth discussion on how best to collectively confront traditional threats as well as emerging challenges. Our gratitude goes, of course, to the Secretary General and the briefers for their invaluable contribution. Djibouti has a stake in maritime security for obvious reasons. It lies at the confluence of some of the world's most vital maritime routes. Approximately 20% of global trade flows through this passage. And as a seafaring nation since time immemorial, the law of the sea, as developed over the years, has always been of great importance to the Djibouti people. As underscored by the Secretary General this morning, we reiterate the importance of respecting international law. Security Council resolutions and the obligations under UNCLOS must be fully and effectively implemented. UNCLOS is universally and rightfully lauded for having codified a legal regime that comprehensively addresses the most significant issues that face the world's oceans and coastal states. But I would submit one of the Convention's greatest achievements is underappreciated. I refer to the drafters' wise decision to embed into the legal architecture that they erected a recognition that cooperation, both internationally and critically regionally, is essential for facilitating responsible and peaceful uses of the seas. The obligations of cooperation are of particular importance to Djibouti in light of the regrettable maritime issues that have plagued the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which have led to the adoption by this Council of Resolution 2722 of January 2024. Djibouti is therefore pleased to have played a significant role in developing the Code of Conduct concerning the repression of piracy and armed robbery against ships in the Western Indian Ocean and the Gulf of Aden, which Djibouti and 20 regional states adopted on January the 29th, 2009, and which is known as the Djibouti Code of Conduct.
Let's head now to Morocco, where Djibouti participated in China-Arab Cooperation Forum held in this country. Ambassador Ahmed Ali Barre, permanent representative of the Republic of Djibouti to the League of Arab States and ambassador to Egypt, took part in the China-Arab Cooperation Forum held in Rabat in Morocco on Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. He attended to the 20th senior officials meeting and the 9th strategic political dialogue session, and during the meeting, Ambassador Barre reaffirmed Djibouti's support for strengthening Sino-Arab cooperation across all sectors. He urged China to play a more active role in resolving regional conflicts, particularly the Palestinian issue. He did not fail to call for an immediate ceasefire and the lifting of restriction in Gaza Strip. Let's come back now to the country. Djibouti's Civil Protection School concludes high-level crisis command training. The International Higher School of Civil Protection of Djibouti, located in Nagad, held the closing ceremony today for its COC Force training session. This advanced training course was specifically designed for Fire and Rescue Center Chief. The program focused on enhancing coordination skills for managing large-scale emergencies such as major fires, mass casualties incidents, or train derailment. Through intensive theoretical and practical modules, participants from across the region developed both strategic and operational capabilities to handle complex crisis situation effectively. The closing ceremony was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of the Interior, the Director General of Civil Protection, Colonel Mahmoud Moussa Barre, and the French ambassador to Djibouti. Several other civilians and military officials were also present. With this initiative, the school reaffirmed its commitment to training a regional elite capable of responding professionally to security and humanitarian challenges in Africa. And present at the ceremony, the French ambassador to Djibouti praised the commitment of the International Higher School of Civil Protection to strengthening regional crisis management capabilities. She emphasized the importance of the long-standing cooperation between France and Djibouti in the field of civil protection and training, reaffirming France's continued support for initiatives aimed at enhancing regional resilience to major risks. In her remarks, the ambassador did not fail to congratulate the trainees for their dedication and professionalism. And during the closing ceremony, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, the Director General of Civil Protection in Djibouti, expressed his pride in the success of the training session. He highlighted the importance of this high-level training for strengthening the capacities of civil protection across in managing a major crisis. In his speech, the Colonel emphasized that regional cooperation in civil protection is essential not only to respond to current disasters, but also to anticipate future challenges. And in turn, the Secretary General of the Ministry of the Interior praised the importance of this training in strengthening the capacities of civil protection actors. He expressed his satisfaction with the participants' commitment and their preparedness to respond to major crises that may arise in the region. In his remarks, the Secretary General emphasized that civil security and crisis management are at the heart of Djibouti's commitment priorities. He did not fail to congratulate the International Higher School of Civil Protection of Djibouti for its ongoing effort to provide high-quality training. And now this meeting between the commanders of Djibouti's Republican Guard and Qatar's Amiri Guard. And during his official visit to Doha, Colonel Mohammed Jama Douali, commander of Djibouti's Republican Guard, was received on May 31st, 2025 by Major General Hazza bin Khalil al-Shawani, commander of the Amiri Guard of Qatar, accompanied by Djibouti's ambassador to Doha, Mr. Tayyib Dubbed Roble, and a delegation of senior officials. Colonel Douali met with his Qatari counterpart to discuss cooperation prospects in training, joint security, and capacity building. Both leaders reaffirmed their commitment. And as part of the project enhancement of the mandate and practices of the National Human Rights Commission, funded by the European Union, the National Human Rights Commission organized a training workshop for 25 judicial police officers of the National Police. This initiative aims to strengthen the law enforcement capacity to ensure human rights and respected in judicial investigation and legal procedures. This training marks an important step toward improving the quality of investigations while upholding fundamental rights. The EU-funded project aims to modernize and strengthen the CNDH action, reinforcing the rule of law and the protection of human rights in Djibouti. The workshop aimed to enhance officers' knowledge of human rights concept and mechanism, to promote a full approach to the rights of individuals during investigations, and encourage effective collaboration between law enforcement and the CNDH to ensure fair justice. And during the opening of the training workshop, Ali Soubane Ateye, president of the National Human Rights Commission, emphasized the critical importance of this program in the continuous improvement of the national police practices regarding human rights. He reminded attendees that law enforcement plays a fundamental role in protecting citizens' rights, and that this training provided aims to ensure that investigations, arrests, and detention are carried out with the utmost respect for human dignity. And the legal program director emphasized the importance of continuous training for law enforcement, particularly judicial police officers, to ensure the protection of fundamental rights throughout judicial procedures. He explained that this initiative is part of a broader effort to strengthen legal capacities within the national police to guarantee the respect for human rights during investigation and public security actions. Let's head now to the northern part of the country. In just a few hours, the city of Oboh will host the inaugural Red Sea Cultural Forum. This historic event celebrates the rich culture of the region and promises to bring together a local and international audience. Dini has the following report.
Everything is ready in Oboh. In just a few hours, the city will come alive with the very first Red Sea Cultural Forum, a landmark event held under the high patronage of the Prime Minister, initiated by the Arcana Association. For 3 days, this historic city will become a vibrant hub of cultural exchange, where traditions, craftsmanship, and dialogue will fill the streets, squares, and minds. From artisanal exhibitions and ancestral games to heritage conferences, cross-border trade, and open-air performance, Oboh will pulse to the rhythm of tradition, discussion, and celebration. But before becoming a welcoming land for the artists and thinkers of the Red Sea, Oboh was the first capital of the Djiboutian territory. A city steeped in history, Oboh served as the country's first capital during the French protectorate. It is home to the first residence of the territory's inaugural governor, Mr. Léonce Lagarde, which now serves as the residence of the prefect of the Oboh region. The city also echoes the tales of the 19th century explorers, with its historic maritime cemetery bearing witness to the past. Even today, traces of that era remain visible. This heritage highlights the central role Oboh played at the end of the 19th century before the capital was moved to Djibouti City. It is therefore with a rich past and an eye on the future that Oboh welcomes this major cultural event. The forum promises to be a key moment for celebrating Djiboutian cultural identity, strengthening ties with Red Sea communities, and restoring Oboh's rightful place in the nation's history and present. By hosting the Red Sea Cultural Forum, Oboh is once again earning its place on the cultural map of the nation, a major event to follow throughout the weekend, one that we'll be bringing to you in our upcoming editions.
And at this event, official delegations and government members travel to actively participate in this gathering. Upon their arrival in Oboh region, the local authorities gave a warm welcome to the guests. And among the prominent figures present was Lieutenant Colonel Ilyas Yusuf Umar, the inter-regimental commander of this region, who played a key role in organizing and welcoming the event. This welcoming ceremony marked the official launch of a forum that promises to be a true crossroads for exchanges and discussion on culture, heritage, preservation, and the enrichment of the cultural identities of the Red Sea's bordering countries. It also provides an opportunity for participants to share ideas and strengthen cooperation ties in this strategically important region of the world. In Al Sabih now, as part of the effort to fight against smuggling, the Al Sabih Customs Brigade, in collaboration with the region's police detachment and the Bias Army, intercepted a large quantity of smuggled goods near the outskirts of the city of Al Sabih. The seized goods, which weighed a total of 3,300 kilograms of cat, were intended to be transported to the capital by the smugglers. According to the standard procedures in place, this quantity was destroyed. Let's turn now to the world news. In Gaza, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 79 Palestinians on Wednesday, targeting homes across the region, according to medical sources. Dini has more.
The Israeli army killed at least 79 Palestinians on Wednesday in targeted airstrikes on residential areas across the Gaza Strip, according to medical resources. 5 Palestinians were killed in a strike on a gathering of civilians in the city of Jabalia, shortly after an evacuation order was issued for large parts of northern Gaza. 2 young girls and a woman also lost their lives in an airstrike on Al-Nadar family home in Jabalia Tel Balad in northern Gaza. Another Palestinian was killed in an Israeli strike on Al-Mansoura Street in the Shajia neighborhood east of Gaza City.
Football to wrap up this edition. In the Europa League, Tottenham won a big match against Manchester United. Reports.
Tottenham claimed their first major title since winning the English League Cup in 2008 and their first European triumph since lifting their second UEFA Cup, now known as the Europa Cup, in 1984. The Spurs defeated Manchester United 1-0 on Wednesday to win the Europa League and put an end to a long trophy drought. Tottenham's victory in the Europa League final marks their first European trophy in over 40 years. It is their first major title since 2008. Brennan Johnson scored the winning goal late in the first half, helping the Spurs salvage a difficult season in which they will finish near the bottom of the Premier League standings.
So that's it for tonight's news. Thanks for being with us and have a good night.